No, that is not our intro music. It is applause that one might hear instead of hand claps at a socialist convention or at a Democratic presidential campaign speech. Welcome back to Azimuth Podcast. I am Kimberly McNabb, and I am joined by my husband, Barrett.
We're continuing our series on presidential candidates, and this time we're discussing a Democrat candidate, Marianne Williamson. She's an author, a speaker, and a spiritual leader who's making her second run for the presidency. Let's take a closer look at her background and key stance on issues, strengths, and weaknesses, and see what sets her apart. So let's watch her video from her website.
I'm Marianne Williamson, and when I was growing up, America had a vibrant middle class. The average American worker had decent benefits, could afford a home, could afford a car, could afford a yearly vacation, could afford for one member of the couple to stay home if they wished, and could afford to send their kids to college. But over the last 50 years, there's been a massive transfer of wealth to the tune of $50 trillion from the bottom 90% of Americans to the top 1%, decimating America's middle class. We all owe President Biden a debt of gratitude for defeating President Trump in 2020. But with the things that they're going to be throwing at us in 2024, we need to submit to the American people an agenda of fundamental economic reform, universal health care, tuition-free colleges at state colleges and universities, higher education including tech schools, paternity and maternity leave, free child care, and a guaranteed living wage. These are things that are considered moderate positions in every other advanced democracy. But in the United States, people have been trained to expect too little. The American people have been played. What the Democratic Party should do is to truly return to the principles of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Not just alleviate people's suffering, but offer them genuine economic reform. Not just help people survive in an unjust system. The Democratic Party should end an unjust system. Washington, D.C., with a few brave exceptions, is filled with two major categories of leaders. Those who don't even care about all the suffering that's going on out there, and those who do not have the moral courage to fix it. Let me in there. I will. I'm Marianne Williamson, and I approve this message.
Well, Chris Christie, even Marianne has a video that has some inspirational music and some talking points. So let's get your team after it. But yeah, so that was okay. I mean, there's things in there. You know,
She actually said her name in like some candidates.
She said who she was. She said why she was running. She had some good talking points. I mean, some who doesn't want to help the middle class. So that's it's a great buzzword to use. But there are some things that universal health care and things like that. Who pays for that? But still, I thought it was well done. It was present. Which is a huge plus on her side. I don't know, honestly. I don't know how she's polling right now, but probably really not that high. But still, Marianne Williamson, she started as a spiritual leader and an author of self-help books. Her journey into politics is marked by a commitment to bringing about change. And clearly we heard about some of that change in her video. One of her key platforms is the idea of an economic bill of rights, which includes a living wage, quality health care, and cost-free higher education, affordable housing, and then, wrap it all up, a clean environment.
Williamson has been a vocal advocate for tackling climate change head-on. She pledged to cancel projects like the Willow Project, work towards a clean environment, and move away from fossil fuel extraction.
Well, on the topic of criminal justice reform, Williamson aims to bring down crime rates and end the prison industrial complex. She's also supportive of financial regulations, advocating for measures like the restoration of the Glass-Steagall Act to separate commercial from investment banking.
Another significant aspect of her platform is LGBTQIA rights. Williamson supports transgender individuals using the bathroom and participating in sports teams according to their gender identity.
Well, while some stances align with others and Democratic candidates, there are key differences that make her stand out. She's not in favor of a blank check for war in Ukraine, and she proposes reining in corporations through regulation as a means to tackle inflation instead of taxation.
And her strengths include her effective use of social media platforms like TikTok, as well as having her own podcast. This can certainly help her connect with a younger audience. Additionally, her background as a public speaker and author makes her a skilled communicator.
However, it's essential to consider the potential weaknesses. Marianne Williamson lacks political experience, which can raise concerns about her ability to navigate complex policy issues.
Well, that's true, and some critics point out that while she outlines ambitious programs, she does not always provide clear details on how to fund them.
It's going to be through seance.
Additionally, her association with New Age spirituality and her comparing the Israel-Palestine conflicts to Avatar, to James Cameron himself, has led to skepticism from many people.
Well, there's another challenge on the horizon, with some speculating she might not have the opportunity to showcase her ideas with there not being a Democrat debate. The Democrat Party has said that Joe Biden is their nominee and that they're not going to host any debates. And really, I see that as just, messing with the democratic process. I mean, let people decide.
Wrong.
It's absolutely wrong. But without there being a Democrat debate, making it difficult for her to differentiate herself from President Biden and RFK Jr. And so it's just going to be really hard. She's going to have to make the rounds. I haven't heard her maybe you have, I don't know, but I haven't heard her making the rounds as much as RFK Jr.
No.
Who's really pounding the pavement.
Oh, he's everywhere.
So, I mean, he's trying to do a good job, but we'll see what happens with her. But like I said, she at least showed up to the party with a campaign video, and so that's already a positive note. I just don't think she's going to go anywhere. There's just not a lot of now. Maybe in her inner circles in California, she's getting some buzz, but I just don't see her elevating herself on the national stage.
Yep. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in and stay informed. Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our show with all the stories we share, we would love your support.
And it's as easy as clicking that subscribe or follow button. This will ensure you never miss an episode and keeps us bringing you these important stories. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast family.
Thanks, and keep tuning in.